What are the 5 types of tennis lessons, and how can tennis pros be successful in each of those?
There's 5 types, and there's only 2 that we commonly give. The first one that I consider to be the most important is the developmental lesson. That's the lesson where we're building a player over time. Okay, we see that person on a regular basis, whether it's once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. We see them on a regular, and we're building a player within them, right? The second type of lesson is the skill specific. Somebody comes to you at the club, Bill, and they want to find a topspin backhand, and you have them 1 or 2 sessions, and it's your job to lead them to a topspin back, to the experience of a topspin backhand. Then there's the workout lesson. This is the lesson where people go to the supermarket, take a shopping cart, fill it full of balls, you go out on the court and just jibber jabber and feed people balls, and they run around and they sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the lesson, and then there's the lesson where we teach them strategy of some kind, how to play, where to stand in doubles, a valuable lesson. And then the very last lesson is one that's seldom given. It needs to be given a lot, and that's where we teach people how to practice with one another. It's a very, very simple formula. I asked this question yesterday to the group I've got this week, and the question is, when you're practicing, who's the most important person in your life? And invariably, the novice will say, I am. Well, that's nothing could be further from the truth. What has to happen is they have to learn how to take care of their practice partner.
Yeah.
And then if and when the practice partner learns how to take care of them, now we have a dance going. So I'm taking care of Mary, Mary's taking care of me, and now we're on fire. That's what that's about.
And so what are the issues? Where does it break down? When do people stop taking care of each other?
They don't take care of each other instinctively in most cases. In some cases they do. But when they come on the court, they generally are thinking about themselves. I want to make my forehand better. I want to make my backhand better. I want to try this. I want to try that. What they've got to come to realize is that can't possibly happen until they learn to take care of the person across the net. So it has to be totally cooperative. I was at a health resort. I had a research center for 5 years at a place called Murrieta Hot Springs, a beautiful holistic resort. I had 14 courts there, and they used to do a relationship program. And they would send, once a month, on a weekend, they would send everybody in that program to me to learn how to play tennis together. And we just did that lesson with everybody. So now Mrs. Jones realized that if she takes care of Mr. Jones can then take care of her, and it just grows from there.
All experience sort of that oddball player who has the weird game that throws everybody off. And then you include them in a clinic, and they even come to a clinic or a practice session with a mind towards sort of blowing the other people up. So the cooperation thing, how do you know when the cooperation is good? What are you guiding? Dig into the practicality of how do the players take care of each other?
We just make a clear definition of success for each of them. And success is when they give the person on the other side of the net a perfect ball to hit. That is success. Nothing else is success. So if they hit a beautiful winner that they're very proud of, we need in that scenario to step in and say, no, that's not it. That's not it. You've got to take care of that person over there. And just emphasize that. It's no more complicated than that.
And then when does that start to change into higher challenge levels? We've been cooperative for a period of time so that we can all hit and get our workout, develop shot reliability. Is increasing shot tolerance and the challenge? When do you start to increase the challenge level?
The challenge doesn't increase very much. If you take a look at the way, just go online on YouTube and take a look at Roger Federer practicing. Roger Federer practices at half speed. He's more concerned with getting his own rhythm than anything else. And his practice partners just give him back the ball, and he gives them the ball. Because if he gives them the ball, then he gets another ball to hit. It's all about rhythm, and then he exaggerates the skill that he's doing so he gets the feel. But he never turns it loose. It just does. You don't turn it loose in practice ever. It just doesn't happen.